The new channel. The new channel. Hashtag TNC Now.
The views, opinions, and insights expressed in the following shows are those of the host, producers, guests, and viewers. They do not necessarily reflect the position of the channel. Viewer discretion is advised.
Mabuhay and welcome to the new channel. Our passion transforms a community that sees all things new. This is King Gonzalez and you guys are streaming us wherever you guys are from. But me, I'm streaming live from La Jolla, Bataan. And you guys are watching the premiere of Season 4 of Realty Realities. Hey, a good Saturday afternoon once again to everybody. Na-miss ko kayo. Sana naman na-miss nyo rin po ako at the show because that was 3 months. 3 months of rest and not being able to update you of what's good and what's not in the real estate market. But don't worry because we have an hour to tell you about the real estate market. And hindi lang to tell you about the real estate market, but what's good. What's realty good in the market right now. And sino pa ang imbitahan natin? Kundi parang parang in-house na natin siya because this is the third time we're gonna have him. Bitinin ko muna kayo. Ang clue lang is he is the country head of the largest real estate consultancy in the country, that's CBRE. Yan. So again, we'd like to thank you guys for streaming wherever you are from. You know, you may be in Germany, you may be in East Coast. If you are in East Coast, then maaga pa para sa inyo. 4 a.m. pa lang. But thank you for waking up. And if you are from the West Coast, dapat nang matulog pero maraming salamat at gising pa po kayo to catch our first episode for season 4. And we have a lot to talk about this season. If the first 3 seasons, the focus was mainly on the sales professionals, us brokers, the appraisers, the consultants, as well as the agents. We did a lot of training in season 3. In fact, I was going through what we had in season 3, and we had 3 sales seminars. One was given by engineer Israel Derain, which talked to us about guys, viewing, or when you go out with your clients to show them the properties, don't call it viewing. You should call it closing. Because at the end of the day, after showing your clients the properties, you should be able to close it. And then Mr. Bobit Santos, our ultimate ahente, no, our ultimate ahente, our master ahente, told us na, you know, selling is, yes, it is an art, right? But it is also a science, di ba? Parang ano yan, the more entries that you send, then the more chances of winning. At dahil dyan, di ba? Ano ba? Oh yeah, oh yeah. One of our supporters, that's Q Bags from Candy, from the famous actress Miss Candy Pangilinan. Well, she gave us this bag so that we can give this away to you. Paano? Napaka-simple. Di ba, first three seasons, sabi natin, meron tayong ask and you shall receive. Just ask a question to our guest this afternoon. Kung sino man yung pinakaunang makapagtanong, paano gagawin? Just post it in the comment section at the bottom of the screen. Right? And you'll get for yourself Q bags from Candy. What else is new in season 4? Well, going back, if seasons 1 to 3 was about the sales professional, now we want to focus on the buyers this time. Ano ba yung ano? What's hot to buy? What's good to invest in? So yun yung focus natin. And luckily and gladly, they've recognized the growth of Realty Realities on TNC. That's why we have 3 new sponsors. The first being Army the partner, Business Mirror. A broader look at today's business. You can find them online on Facebook. Just type in Business Mirror. And you can also go to their website, businessmirror.com.ph. You also have Vista Residences. Siguro naman hindi na alien sa inyo pag narinig niyo yung Vista. Vista Residences is the condominium arm of Vista Land Group. So their condominiums are strategically located where? Well, near your schools or near where your office is at. And finally, we have our newest sponsor. Kasi si Vista, ano yan eh. 3 seasons na yan. So maraming salamat. This time, we have our new sponsor, Oh My Home. Always by your side, always on your side. So Oh My Home is the newest app in the market. It also has a website where it matches buyers and sellers the most efficient way. So for you guys to be more explained about Vista Residences as well as Oh My Home, we will get them in our following episodes. Last but definitely not least, maraming salamat for keeping me awake. That's Shift Cafe. All right, so season 4. Sabi ko nga, season 4 is about the buyers. Why do we need to focus on the buyers? Because what we want to translate here after watching this show is you guys to learn about the different options out there in the market and also to know ano yung pinaka pasok na option dun sa pangangailangan nyo. If you're looking for homes, well, definitely there's Vista Residences if you're looking for a condominium. If you're looking for commercial property, then wait up. I will have a separate episode to talk to you about commercial properties that King Kong Realty offers. All right. So without further ado, I already said that yes, it's Realty looking good. Ano yan? Our property market is Realty looking good. Tama ba? Tama ba? Do you guys agree? The brokers agree? Yes, siguro na naramdaman na ng mga brokers na gumaganda na yung benta. So that's our title of our episode. And who best to talk to us about it but the country head of CBRE? Without further ado, Mr. Jie Espinosa.
Good afternoon, King. How are you?
Hi! Hi, Sir G. Sabi ko call my attention when I'm already past my 5 minutes. I'm already on 10 minutes, so I'm
It's
sorry.
okay.
I just needed to say thank you to those guys because alam mo Sir G, this broadcast is not that easy, no? Kung walang sponsors to help us out. So, Oh My Home, Vista Residences, Business Mirror, you guys rock. And
Thank you.
another rock star in the field of real estate. This guy has more than 20 years of experience in the major developers as well as yun nga, mga real estate company. Sir G, um, the same time last year, about the same time last year, we had you guys here.
Yeah.
And yung difference nun ay, sabi mo sa akin, alam mo, King, well, you guys, to the listeners, you guys should take a pragmatic approach in real estate investing, 'di ba? Sabi mo dun sa mga developers, the developers are also taking a pragmatic approach because we still didn't know if the pandemic's gonna last.
Mm.
So 1 year later, today, August 20, 2022, are you going to say the same thing?
No, I'm glad that you invited me again. I'm glad that this time around, the message and the theme of what I'm about to share with the rest of your viewers is a stark difference from how it was the last time we spoke. So I'm really glad that as I talk to you right now and to share the stuff that I have to share for brokers out there, for prospective buyers out there, for those of your viewers who are generally just interested in anything real estate, it's a lot more positive and it's a lot more encouraging. So, if you will allow me, hopefully I'll have enough time to be able to share the bright spots, not just here in Metro Manila, but outside of Metro Manila as well.
Sige, Sir G, umpisa mo na. Kung hindi naman matapos yan, meron tayong second episode. Kagaya din dati. No, go
Okay,
ahead,
so
go ahead.
no worries. Okay, so good afternoon to all the viewers of this show. I'd like to share with you some of the market updates that we collated over the second quarter of 2022. If we could just show the slides right now. So, King, I think one of the most important things that I'd like to highlight is that a lot of things are coming back to how it was pre-pandemic. I think the only thing that's remaining, that's a reminder of the pandemic as of this time, is us wearing our masks out in public. But almost everything, as you go around, you travel, you see a lot of people, and the crowds are back. So the theme for our market report for the second quarter is they're back. The recovery is real. No? So
Sakto
uh,
yung title mo sa We're Back in Season 4.
yes. So if you look at vacancy overall in the market, King, it's the first time in 2 years that vacancy actually went down. In the previous quarter, it went up to around 20.8%. That was the highest it has ever been. But for the second quarter, it moved a bit downwards. No, but apart from that slight adjustment downwards, there are a lot of encouraging signs in the market as well. First quarter palang, King, early in the year, we already knew that somehow there's a turning of the tide in the market. But the second quarter, it was very clear that a lot of what we saw as signs of recovery in the first quarter, it was no fluke. It is really, a solid sign of recovery.
Mhm.
So if you look at all of the sub districts, King, no, a lot of the sub districts experienced a little bit of an improvement from previous quarter. I think if you look at it on a per sub district basis, you will notice that of all of the sub-districts, Fort Bonifacio is the only sub-district that's doing a single-digit vacancy level. It has
Wow.
largely stayed that way, King, over the last 2 years, no?
Uh-huh.
And
Uh-huh.
if I look at the what we call as the prime office buildings in Makati, a lot of those vacancies in those buildings came during the second quarter. They've mostly stabilized. In
Uh-huh.
fact, three new buildings by one of our major developers, Ayala, has achieved 80 plus percent occupancy uh, by uh, by the second quarter, and this is quite unusual, King. No, it's very commendable.
Recently opened building, 80% na
Yes,
kagad?
recently completed buildings by Ayala. There are
Wow.
two right along Ayala Avenue and at the corner of EDSA.
Mhm.
One Ayala Towers 1 and 2. And there's another one, Ayala Triangle Garden 2. No? So all of those buildings have done really well during the past few quarters. It's quite commendable that even during the pandemic years, no, they've gotten to 80 plus percent occupancy.
Mhm.
So just the fact that in almost all of the sub districts and in key buildings, the ones that are often transacted, the vacancy in those buildings, King, have gone down. Even if it just slightly gone down, it's a very good sign already, because ultimately we see that in the next few quarters it will improve even more. No?
Mhm. Mhm. But
So
improve even more to, I guess the question that pops up is, when do we see single digit vacancies in, well, BGC has already achieved it, but say
mm,
for the likes of Ortigas and Makati.
okay, so I'll get into that later, King.
Yeah,
I'll
yeah.
show you, how the confluence of pipeline supply,
Oh,
tapos
okay.
yung demand na nakikita natin sa market,
Mhm.
yung projected na demand natin over the next few years, how it will ultimately pan out, no, in the next few years. Are we
Okay.
going to be back to single-digit vacancy levels? So I'll
Yeah.
show you that later on. But really, if you go around the market right now, King, no, if a client, if a foreign client were to come into the market for the first time and ask us, so CBRE, how much space is there available in Metro Manila right now? So you'll see that figure there, 1.72 million square meters spread across different sub districts. Um, the last time I was here, I spoke about the fact that most of these spaces are vacated spaces, pinag-iwanan ng
Mhm.
mga Chinese online gaming
August,
companies.
yeah. Okay.
Yeah, but I'll be able to show you later on that those vacated spaces have actually gone down. No?
Mhm. Mhm.
In fact, this is the first quarter where we feel that the focus is going to be on unleased spaces. Pag pinag-usapan namin sa sa market yung unleased spaces, King, we essentially are referring to spaces that have never been occupied. No?
Okay.
So, karamihan ng mga unleased spaces na to, na complete to during the pandemic years,
Yeah.
2020, 2021. Siyempre, since mahina pa yung market, hindi sila na occupy kaagad, no? But
Mhm.
now that we're seeing a lot of the sectors are starting to pick up space again, demand is increasing. We feel that these types of spaces, yung mga unleased spaces, will be the first ones to be picked up. No?
Mhm.
So if you look at them closely, the relative age of these buildings would be around 2.39 years. So halos bagong-bago pa, and they are of a good quality. So,
Mhm. Mhm.
I mean, what does that mean truly? If you have a lot of unleased spaces and eventually it gets started to get picked up, no, by different sectors in the market. That could mean that in key cities, in key sub-districts in Metro Manila, the pendulum could swing quite swiftly, no?
Mm-hmm.
From high vacancy levels, low rates, to lower vacancy levels, higher rates, no, increasing rates, no? So I would assume that in key areas like Fort Bonifacio, where transactions have been relatively strong over the last few quarters, even Ortigas, for example, where there are a lot of unleased spaces right now.
Uh-huh.
As all sectors start to grow again and start to require spaces again, they could see a very quick improvement, no, in terms of the landscape. So we have to keep watching that, King. Kailangan natin bantayan yan. Kasi those spaces, once they get absorbed, the developers who are overseeing these types of spaces in key markets could see an improvement in rates over the
Mm-hmm.
next few
Mm-hmm.
quarters. Okay.
Mm-hmm. Oh,
So
wait.
the
Let
salary,
me just hold you there. G, when you talk about rates, since you mentioned it, yung rates ba ngayon are back to the pre-pandemic levels already?
hindi pa,
Hindi
King,
pa.
no? Typically
Okay. Okay.
naman, real estate is a bit of a lagging indicator in the economy.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
It will take a bit of time for overall rates in Metro Manila to go all the way up to how it was before. But
Mm-hmm.
we're already seeing that some sub-districts like Fort Bonifacio are poised for an improvement. And I'll show you
Okay.
a bit later how it's gonna happen. But
Yeah.
this is what I was talking about earlier, King. Kung nakikita mo, quarter on quarter, the past 2 years, over 100,000 yung gini-give up na spaces, yung binabalik, no, sa market because the occupiers of those spaces pre-terminated their leases. For the
Mm-hmm.
first time in Q2, it was 100. It was less than 100,000 square meters, and it was a dramatic drop. Only 20,000 square meters were given up. So, what could be the main reasons for that? Well, una sa lahat, King, wala na
Yeah.
masyadong POGOs na nag-give up ng spaces.
Uh-huh.
We also noticed that a lot of the MNCs, no, yung mga multinational companies, yung mga non-BPO companies
Mm-hmm.
natin, in previous quarters kasi nag-struggle yan sila, King,
Mm-hmm.
kasi a lot of them had to adjust to work from home arrangements, no, by their
Uh-huh.
employees. Hindi nila alam how much space they will retain. Given
Okay.
what has happened over the last 6 months this year, where the situation has largely stabilized, mas
Mm-hmm.
marami nang nababakunahan sa population natin. Yung cases we haven't really experienced a major surge similar to how it was very early in the year. Um, a lot of these companies have now stabilized. They already know exactly how much space they're going to need over the next few years. So they have largely stopped giving up spaces or pre-terminating. Yung
Mm-hmm.
mga BPOs naman natin, a lot of them are now just simply holding on to their spaces. No? They're anticipating a lot of improvements in terms of return to office setup over the
Sorry,
next few weeks.
we're talking about BPOs now, right?
BPOs.
Okay. All right,
So
BPO.
in previous quarters, King, they had to give up spaces kasi
Mm-hmm.
similar to the MNCs, no? Yung mga hybrid work arrangements affected them and the work from home arrangements. But now they're largely holding onto their spaces kasi, I mean, the government has been pushing for a return to office. In fact, may milestone date tayo na hanggang September 12, yung 70-30 na setup and the government will look into it again how much of the workforce they want back in the office. But these companies, yung mga outsourcing companies natin, King, habang nag-wait and see sila, hindi na sila nag-give up ng spaces. In fact, some of them have really just revisited expansion, no? And we're gonna show you how that's panning out in terms of demand, no?
Oh,
In
really?
the Yep,
They're revisiting expansion.
yep.
Wow. That's good. That's good.
So pag tinignan mo tong heat map ng vacated spaces natin, the ones that were given up during the quarter, no, and over time,
Mm-hmm.
this is how it's looking like. Ang pinakamaraming vacated spaces sa Makati, that's the column to your left, King, no? In
Yeah.
terms of amount, in terms of square meters. Pero if you look at that specific sub-district, Makati, for example, yung mga vacated spaces comprise roughly just, 77% of overall availability in that market. So anong ibig sabihin nun? So pag pumunta ka ng Makati, kumuha ka ng space, naghanap ka ng pwede mong upahan, pag-upahan na office space, chances are, ang maibibigay sa iyo ng options ng mga brokers na katulad namin, pretty much pinag-iwanan ng ibang kumpanya before. No?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Karamihan doon. Konti lang ang
Mm-hmm.
new
Mm-hmm.
spaces. As
Mm-hmm.
opposed to a sub-district like Ortigas King. No? So, pag tiningnan mo, only over 20% ng availability sa Ortigas yung pinag-iwanan. So, karamihan sa Ortigas, relatively new office
New.
spaces.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. All
Relatively
right.
new office spaces. Okay. And over the next few years, King, this is how it's looking like in terms of pipeline. Bukod doon sa 1.72 million square meters na meron
Mm-hmm.
tayo ngayon, may madadagdag na 2 milyon ng office supply over the next few years. That's quite a lot. In fact, the largest infusion of new office spaces will happen next year, and it's going to happen in Quezon City. In Quezon City alone, roughly around 260,000 square meters of new office spaces will be completed. And those are not standalone office buildings, King, no? Most of them are part of master plan self-contained communities, the likes of Bridgetown, for example, by Robinsons, di ba?
Oh, okay. Okay.
The
Yeah.
likes of SM North. So
Uh-huh.
you have a lot of those BPO buildings that's gonna get completed by next year in Quezon
Wow.
City.
Wow. So G, yung 203 million mo na yan, that's all over the country na, no? Including
2.03 million, King. This is just for Metro Manila.
oh, this is
Magugulat
just for
ka,
okay, okay.
may additional pa na office pipeline
All right.
sa labas ng Metro Manila. Papakita namin sa iyo mamaya.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? So, ito yung sinasabi ko, King, no? It was a very good second quarter for the industry. A lot of companies grew and expanded. In
Mm-hmm.
fact, pag tinignan mo, King, kung ano ang number na nakikita dito ngayon, 193,000 square meters of office space demand. That is an 80% improvement from same period last year.
Yes.
Imagine mo, King, nung nag-usap tayo last year, ibang-iba ang landscape. Di ba? So it has
Yeah.
been 80% improvement. The most active market has been Fort Bonifacio, followed
Uh-huh.
by Makati, and quite surprisingly, Cebu. And that's the main reason why I am, doing
You're
this
there.
doing this
You're
broadcast here in
yeah.
Cebu because a lot of activity, we're seeing a lot of activity down here in this market. So pag
Mm-hmm.
tiningnan mo,
Mm-hmm.
sigurin mo ng maigi yung demand, no, na nakikita
Mm-hmm.
mo in the market, King. Pag tiningnan mo yung top 20 transactions na nangyari during the second quarter, ang average na size ng take-up was roughly around 5,000 square meters. Hindi yan biro, King. Yung
Oh,
5,000
so
square
so
meters at
ano
sa
yan,
broker pa
BPOs.
rin, di ba?
Ano yun?
So
BPOs
when
yun.
you do a 5,000 square meter
Yeah.
transaction, that's pretty sizable, no? So that has
Yeah.
been the average take up by
Wow.
a lot of the major BPOs that expanded during the second quarter. And tiningnan namin ng maigi, no? Saan ba ito nangyayari lahat ng mga demand na to? 55% of all of these transactions happen in vacated spaces. So, it's encouraging, King, kasi yung vacated spaces natin na masyadong marami pinakita ko in previous slides, ang
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
pinakamalaki kasing tanong for us to go back to how it was before or how we will recover is may kumukuha ba ng mga vacated spaces na yan?
Uh-huh.
Ang
Uh-huh.
sagot,
Uh-huh.
oo. Pero kailangan rin natin tingnan ng maigi na most of what has been taken up na vacated spaces yung pinag-iwanan ng kapwa rin nila BPO companies or outsourcing companies.
Uh-huh.
Ang medyo challenging bit is yung pinag-iwanan ng POGOs, no, or ng mga Chinese online gaming companies kasi yung configuration nun hindi akma sa
Yan. The
needs ng mga
BPO.
BPO companies. So yung mga
Oh.
landlords nun, I think ultimately they will have to make a decision na i-reinstate na lang nila or bakbakin na lang nila yan, i-turn
Uh-huh.
over na malinis yung
Ng
spaces na yun.
shell phase.
You know, ultimately it allows them to charge at market or perhaps even a premium rather
Mm-hmm.
than having all of those improvements left behind. Kasi
Yeah.
since
Yeah.
hindi siya
Yeah.
kailangan and since mahirap siyang i-reconfigure later on, napipwersa sila na ang rates for those spaces mas pabagsak.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
just the fact that a lot of transactions happen in vacated spaces is encouraging. Tapos,
Yeah.
my last point siguro lang here on this slide, King. Nakita nyo, for the first time in 2 years, there is a small POGO transaction that happened in the market, roughly around 12,000 square meters. Now, so, they're not entirely gone. Some of them are still here. And for the first time, meron nag-expand, no, na pogo
Mm-hmm.
na occupier in the market.
Just to sum up what you've said regarding office spaces, G. So,
Mm.
ang drivers that we're seeing right now are the expanding BPOs,
Oh
diba?
yes.
So, both
Oh yes.
existing BPOs already in the market as well as new ones coming in.
Correct. Oo.
Talaga.
May
So,
mga
that's
new
one.
entrants pa rin na nangyari. In fact, pag tinignan mo
Mhm.
suma total ng mga transactions na yan, King, karamihan dyan, BPO pa rin, no? Over half of the transactions that happened during the second quarter are by BPO companies.
Yeah, and then you mentioned about MNCs earlier. So MNCs going back to their normal lives, going to the offices. But are we also seeing new MNCs coming into the market or expanding their operations here in the country?
Mostly expansions, King.
Oh yeah.
Karamihan naman ng mga major na mga multinational companies nandito na rin naman eh. Whether
Uh-huh.
it be FMCG,
Yeah, yeah.
BFSI,
Uh-huh.
Life Sciences, most of them are already here. They have a semblance of their operations in the Philippines. But a lot of those multinational companies during the second quarter uh, did not expand but actually moved flight to quality. Ibig sabihin yung mga opisina nila dati luma, mas may confidence na sila ngayon and they are now allowed by their global offices to spend on capex and start considering relocating to newer office buildings, which
I'm sorry, G. Are you? Oh, okay. I'm
I'm
not sure
here.
if I was the one lost or you were the one lost, but we're found now. So you said that most of these MNCs have fresh funds for capex.
Yes. So it was a good sign kasi these MNCs, some of them are in older buildings. They started moving to newer, better buildings. And that's a
Mm.
good sign, I was saying, because now they have global mandates and approvals to spend on capex and new fit
Mhm.
out.
Yeah, yeah.
No, so
Well,
again, it's an encouraging sign for the industry at large kasi
uh-huh,
hindi lang yan good sign for us as brokers, hindi lang yan good sign for the
uh-huh.
developers. It's a good sign to fit out providers and contractors out there. And pag
Yeah, yeah.
pinag-usapan na natin yung fit out providers and contractors out there, ang
Uh-huh.
ripple effect din sa economy is very big because you have a
Yeah,
lot of construction
yeah.
that's starting to happen again. You
That's
have
right.
subcontractors finding business all over again. And that's
Uh-huh.
like layers and layers of industries that are starting to benefit from this
Yeah,
shift
yeah.
in the landscape.
Yeah. Yeah, well, you mentioned about infusion of fresh funds, G. Ako nagugulat ako kasi lately nagpupunta na ako ng mga malls. And I've seen malls that are renovated and looking like they're new, 'di ba? Na and I'm just so happy. And I've even heard of some friends who are saying, "Hey King, baka naman merong meron kang lupa sa ganito kasi even the malls are expanding, no?"
Oh
I'm
yeah.
not
And
sure if it's
I
also
mean
in one of your
retail.
clients.
Oh, and retail in general, King, has really come back in a strong way the past
Sige.
3 quarters because
Bago
of increased
natin
foot traffic.
Yeah, bago natin pag-usapan yung retail and commercial properties. Eto, umiinit na tayo. So we're done with the office. I suppose we're done with the office or we'll go back. But for now, let's pause for a bit as we go thank our sponsors. We'll be right back. Pasok muna commercial break. Hey, welcome back. And you guys are watching Realty Realities this Saturday afternoon. This is King Gonzalez, your host for the fourth season. So we just finished 3 seasons. What is TNC? So TNC is the new channel. It's an online alternative of new media platform for people on the go. Please share it to your friends and family and watch all the shows as you see on the screen. So, it's not just realty realities. We have a lot of shows, mom inspirations, the marketplace, and these are shows that you kung ito yung ano mo, ito yung interest mo, ito yung passion mo, you can easily go to our channel on Facebook. That's the new channel, and then subscribe. Click subscribe so that every week ma-curate mo na kung ano yung mga papanoorin mo at hindi lang yung mga napapanood mo naman sa traditional media, because all of the content here in new channel, these are engaging, authentic, and original content that you surely will learn something from. Be inspired. Uh, our channel is a responsible global 24/7 platform that showcases Filipino talent, global influencers, and the big names in real estate, specifically for realty realities. Imagine having your own show, your own playlist, and your own content, but we make it easier for you by just going to the new channel. So watch Realty Realities every Saturdays at 4 p.m. You can watch live or replay via Facebook or YouTube. So just an example, one of my friends, co-brokers in the Quezon City North Realtors Board, Mr. Henry Uy, thank you. Sir, even if you missed the show today, yes, you can still watch it because you can just go to the new channel Facebook page or YouTube and pwede mo siyang i-replay. For sponsorships or other inquiries, please email now at thenewchannel.com or send us a DM. Enjoy these life-changing shows because we made them all for you. All right, so we are, yes. Of course, we need to flash those sponsors. Can you flash it back? Maraming salamat to season 4 sponsors. There's Oh My Home. If you're looking for your dream house, if you want to easily look for your dream house, kasi merong videos, go to Oh My Home website tapos click nyo kasi makikita nyo yung videos, which is an advantage. Wag nyo na lang sabihin. Wag nyo, against the other providers na mga ng mga other websites, kasi ito meron videos that you can watch. All right, you Vista Residences, part of the Vista Land Group, not just once, not just twice, but this is the third time. Maraming salamat po for supporting us. If you're looking for condominiums right in front of your kid's school or right in front of your office, definitely may Vista Residence dyan. Our media partner, Business Mirror. No, if you want to focus on just business, not too much on politics, then go to businessmirror.com.ph. Chef Cafe, thank you for the coffee. Sir G, I'll send you yours in a little while. And we also have Q bags from Candy, by Candy. So meron na ba tayong did somebody ask any question? Wala pa yata. Wala pa. So, please, it's a simple. If you want to win this bag, this beautiful bag, made from our Marikina artisans of Q bags from Candy, just simply post a question to Mr. Jie Espinosa, just on the comment section, and you guys get this. All right, so let's bring back Mr. G Espinosa, the country head of CBRE. All
Thank you,
right.
King.
Sige, medyo fast track tayo, G. We're done. Are we done with office spaces?
I just have a few more things to add, no?
Yeah. Go ahead.
Yeah. So, kanina kasi nagtanong ka, kamusta na yung rates? Are they
Yeah.
back to pre-pandemic levels? Medyo hindi pa. Generally, in the market right now, nakikita namin yung discount from published is roughly around 13%. But there are some sub-districts like Fort Bonifacio King that are poised to increase rates na soon. So it's a
Mhm.
combination of a strong demand in that sub-district and at the same time very low vacancy levels already, which haven't really gone to double digits. Some key markets medyo marami pang kailangan habulin. Sasagutin ko rin yung tanong mo kanina. So G, kailan tayo babalik to single-digit vacancy levels in the market? Ang
Mhm.
sagot ko is that it could take a little bit more time. It could take all the way to 2026 before we get down to pre-pandemic levels of vacancy. Kasi medyo marami-rami pa masyado ang vacated spaces natin in the market. Yung demand in the market, medyo it's just starting to take its footing. And
Mhm.
syempre, we have to take a look at how the projected growth of key sectors like the outsourcing industry, how it's going to pan out. No? So for now, we're forecasting it to happen by 2026. Maaaring
Mhm.
mapaaga ito depending on how strong the demand is going to be over the next few quarters.
No, G, you mentioned 2026. That's pre-pandemic levels in terms of occupancy.
Yeah.
My
The
question earlier,
vacancy.
well, aside from occupancy, no, is in terms of rental rates. Because
Ah,
people have been asking me. I have clients who have smaller, smaller office spaces compared to what we have, like 5,000, no.
mm.
And they've been asking me, King, what's a good rate for us to put now? Yes, we're recovering from the pandemic, pero is it already back to the rental rates of pre-pandemic? And
Alam mo,
my
hindi
answer,
magiging
oh
Oo,
yes,
hindi magiging masyadong malayo, King. Kasi alam mo, what largely has happened in the market during the last 2 years, hindi naman ganun kalaki ang in-adjust downwards ng rates natin. What most
yeah,
landlords did during the last 2 years is provide more rent-free incentive so that they
okay,
maintain
okay,
a certain threshold. Of course, merong
all
adjustment. No?
right,
Hindi ko sinasabi na hindi bumagsak yung rates in
yeah,
some
yeah.
key areas. Dito lang sa Cebu, ang laki ng naging adjustment, roughly around 30 to 40%, di ba?
Oh,
Pero in
okay, okay.
Metro
So malaki
Manila,
na
key
yun.
markets
Yeah,
like Makati and Fort Bonifacio, hindi siya malayo sa how it was pre-pandemic. In fact,
okay,
feeling nga namin itong Fort Bonifacio, as I was mentioning earlier, mag-i-increase na lang mga rates dyan specific buildings kasi it's becoming tighter and
mm-hmm.
the demand continues to be strong. No? So, pwede nating makita na by the end of this year or early next year, halos pareho na to pre-pandemic levels.
No, okay, okay. Thanks
Okay?
for that. Yeah, go ahead,
So,
go ahead.
So King, I just want to touch on what's happening outside of Metro Manila, King. Kasi nung nag-usap tayo a few days back, ang sabi ko sa'yo, there are a lot of encouraging signs outside of Metro Manila as well.
Yeah,
The key sites for me are Cebu and Iloilo. No? So Cebu has seen a lot of transactions during the first 6 months, and I have a specific slide for it later on. Pag tiningnan mo to right now, ang situation, Iloilo would be the tightest market, no, in terms of vacancy level.
okay.
Tapos, eto ngayon yung available supply. Tingnan mo, King, no, yung sa Cebu, ang dami-dami nang natapos na mga buildings during the last 2 years. That's why it's quite competitive right now. Yung rates dyan sa Cebu, dito sa Cebu, bumaba
Mm-hmm.
halos ng mga around 30 to 40%. Sa Clark, sa Pampanga, maraming available spaces pero kokonti lang ang PESA spaces. So yung medyo precious na mga PESA spaces na yun now command a premium. Sa Iloilo, halos walang available supply kasi lahat na renta ng mga incoming outsourcing companies during the last 2 years. This is one of the most active markets the past 2 years. And we're going to show you how the developers are overcompensating to an
Mm-hmm.
extent no, in that market.
Mm-hmm.
Davao has been a very strong market. We've seen strong demand in the second quarter, and hopefully it encourages more developers to do something there. No,
Yeah. Yeah.
uh, in terms of pipeline over the next 2 years, dito medyo may malaking difference sa King, no? Kanina sa Metro Manila, ang sabi ko, medyo is stabilized yung number around 2 million square meters. Tingnan mo yung sa provincial locations. Halos 300 square meters, no, 300,000 square meters ang naidagdag sa sa future pipeline ng office supply. Karamihan yan sa Iloilo. Kasi nag-announce, maraming major developers tayo nag-announce ng new projects nila sa Iloilo because they saw how well it performed during the pandemic years. No? Ito yung rates right now across the board sa provincial locations. A lot of them.
Sorry, I'm not sure if I'm the one having technical difficulties or it's G. So, well, I think it's G, no? So, we already have a winner. Yeah, direct, tama ba? So, it's a simple game, guys. If you're already watching us, right? It's ask and you shall receive a gift from us. And for the next 4 weeks, we're thankful because Q Bags from Candy has given us 4 bags. So we'll be giving out one per week. And yun, ang question ni Miss Vanji, I suppose it's Miss Vanji Onasa, is based on the recent trends in office space occupancy. How soon do you think we can project for the rates to come back to pre-pandemic range? All right. So, um, yeah, it was already answered, no, by Sir G. In terms of occupancy, office occupancy, we're looking at it to be back to pre-pandemic rates in 2026. But in terms of rental rates po, Miss Vanji, what he said, correct me if I'm wrong, Sir G, when you come back, it's at the end of this year, we're already back to the rental rates. So, ano ba? Miss Vance, are you a property owner, building owner na natuwa po ba kayo na at the end of this year it will be going back to the normal rental rates? Or kayo ba ay business owner at sabi mo, ay, bakit naman ganun? All right. Yes, you may flash first direction. No. Let's bring back Sir G. Sir G,
Sorry about that.
no worries, no worries.
We
It
live in a
happens.
world where internet connection is so pivotal. Okay, so thank you so much, King. But the point that I was just trying to make earlier is that across provincial locations, we're also starting to see demand picking up. No, Cebu in particular has been a very, very strong market.
Mm,
If I could just ask my team to show the slide for Cebu in terms of demand. It was
mm,
a very strong second quarter as well. Roughly around 24,000 square meters of transactions happening. Pag tinignan mo
mm.
yan, i-break down mo yan, King, ayan, 85% are coming from the IT BPM sector.
Mm,
And all of
mm.
the sub-districts here in Cebu have, have experienced an uptick in terms of demand.
Yeah,
Tapos, siguro the other thing that I'd like to highlight for you and for our viewers out there, lalo na yung mga, ano natin, mga provincial brokers natin, King, no?
yeah,
I
yeah,
want them to fully understand that, there is a lot of activity. They can participate in a very strong and dynamic industry, no? Like sa Iloilo, for example, pag tiningnan mo, the situation in Iloilo is very, very strong. Vacancy is roughly just around 5%. The last 2 years, King, over 70,000 square meters of transactions happening by major outsourcing companies. And over the next few years, King, no, I'll just show you the amount of spaces that's gonna get completed over the next few years. Ayan, tignan mo, King. Over 300,000 square meters of new office supply will come in. So outside of Cebu, Iloilo will be a very important hotspot for BPO companies. These major developers, no, Robinsons, Mega World, oh, ayan, King Properties, sa'yo ba to?
I wish, I wish.
Ayala, SM, they're all building significant amounts of office spaces in that sub-district alone. So, yun lang, King. I want to share that message out there, no, that the industry is starting to find its footing. And
Mm-hmm.
a lot of the things that you're seeing outside when you go out, di ba, the activity, the
Yeah,
flurry of
yeah,
activity that you're seeing, hindi po biro yan.
yeah,
It's it's leading to a positive impact
yeah.
to everyone in the industry. No, so malamang your next question is going to be, Panaji, is now the right time for us to be investing in something? How
Mm-hmm.
are other
Mm-hmm.
sectors moving
Mm-hmm.
along?
Yeah.
Hopefully, we can help you with that as well.
Okay. All right. But before we bring in um, help, help for the other markets. I'm just happy to hear about what you've mentioned, Iloilo, Cebu, Davao as growing, even growing further, no? Kasi that's the essence of decentralizing the Imperial Manila, eh. And it helps us decongest also the different the very busy cities na,
Mm,
no,
mm,
and it also gives opportunities to people in these cities, in these provinces, to invest and to make money out of their property. So kung kayo man, 'di ba, kung kayo man ay taga Iloilo na, kung kayo man ay taga Cebu or taga Davao, just look within your properties. Just look within your provinces dahil meron kayong mahanap diyan. No need no need to go to Manila. All right. And also, if you're a buyer, if you're an investor here in Manila, get in touch with me, get in touch with CBRE to look for opportunities in those three provinces and cities that were mentioned. All right. So, G, I suppose that was again, data rich, and that's precisely why we here in the show invite CBRE, because we want to make decisions based on data, 'di ba? Maraming salamat dun sa offices. Now, I'm into commercial leasing. That's the cup of tea of King Kong Realty, and also in commercial sales. So, can we get help from somebody to update us on the industrial and retail markets?
uh,
Meron ba tayo
bu-
ano? Would you like to call in?
Buti na lang, King, kasama ko si Sheila Sanchez, our head for capital markets dito sa Cebu ngayon. So,
Nice.
with all of the interest and the questions that you have there, magfo-phone a friend ako para matulungan niya ako dyan.
Yan, yan. Miss Sheila, let's bring in Miss Sheila Sanchez.
Hi, good afternoon, King.
Hi, good afternoon. Sumama ka po sa gulo sa amin dito.
No problem. Happy to
So,
help.
is it the same level as what G's mentioning about office developments? Is commercial, yung industrial and retail markets also up, ma'am?
Well, focusing on industrial and logistics, no. So
Okay.
we track the market actively now because a lot of our inquiries, no, whether locally or from the region, from our clients in the region, are actually looking to expand, portfolio in the industrial and logistics sector.
Mm-hmm.
So what do I mean about that? No, so um, there are three areas where INL opportunities are being looked at currently. These are in Cavite, Laguna, and Batangas. So we call that the Calaba region, no?
Mhm.
So on the left hand side, you see there available land, no? So that's the current availability right now. Both Batangas and Cavite would have more than 1 million square meters of industrial land available. Laguna would have about half of it at 570,000 square meters. But take note, King, ang mga
Yes.
take up, ang mga nire-require, ang demand ngayon is in the hectares, no? So these are more than say 10,000, 20,000 square meters in one go. So we'd like to
Wow.
highlight that, no? So hindi lang land ang hinahanap, but also available warehouse, because some of the investors or the actual locators and end users would need ready built facilities, warehouses where they could easily um, operate in, no? So that's why we see here available warehouse supply, no, in these areas. So we have Cavite and Batangas, and Laguna would have the highest at over 100,000 square meters of warehouse spaces. But take note, again, we'd like to highlight, maliliit ngayon ang spaces na available, and relatively mga hindi na sila bago na warehouses, no? So,
Mhm.
mga
Mhm.
nagre-range yan ng 1,000 to 3,000 square meters per warehouse. So that's
Yeah.
where the opportunities lie, no, for those developers that could build warehouses and bring it to market, mga tag 5,000, 6,000 square meters. Yan, madali yung take up, no, because there is demand for that, no.
Mhm.
So I just want to quickly browse through the right hand side, no. So we have here some lease rates, no, for land that's between 80 and 100 pesos per square meter. Lease
Yeah.
rates yan for land, no. Pero in terms of land for sale, iba-iba ang pricing kasi depende yan sa locations within the Calaba area, and depende din kasi yung iba merong existing improvements that they sell with the land. So
Mhm.
yung merong
Mhm.
may land and warehouse also. So that's between 8,500 per square to as high as 25,000 per square
Mhm.
meter. No? So you see here that there's a demand line. These are transacted data. No? So in Cavite, there are two transactions na tag over 40,000 square meters of land being bought in the second quarter alone. So, and then there are also transactions in Batangas, one of which is exceeding 40,000 ulit. So this is in hectares also, 4 hectares, King. So you
Open.
see,
Miss Sheila, open pa yung requirement na yan, no? Current requirement ngayon yan, no?
done deal na to.
Ada,
Sold na
ada,
to.
deal.
Oo, dun sa
Okay.
demand side. No? But in terms of land availability, there are a lot. And we would
Uh-huh.
still look for more availability of land,
Okay.
no?
All right.
Especially for requirements in the e-commerce segment. No? So, yun dun
But you're
naman.
saying, Miss Sheila, ano, yung minimum need mo, ano, no? 1,000 na
For warehouse yan,
for
1,000
warehouse.
square meters. Kung land
Oo.
lang, mahina ang 10,000, 20,000
Oh,
square meters.
isang hektarya ang
Yes.
kailangan.
Yes, yes.
Ah,
There are
ah.
requirements that would reach 10 hectares in one go. E-commerce related requirements. That's why we're really focusing on these segments, no? On this segment also.
Ah, ah.
Okay. So for
Nice.
warehouse rates, you have there 200 pesos per square meter up to 275 pesos per square meter. Take note of the vacancy level, single digit lang. So ibig sabihin yung mga
Kaya nga
available
eh.
warehouse, 'di ba? So walang walang immediately available. That's why there's really opportunity for big developers or even the second tier developers to bring products, warehouse facilities into the market because there's really demand for it.
Mhm. Yun, so, calling in mga broker friends, yung mga investors who are watching us, I think take the hint from Miss Sheila. Ah, malamang sa malamang marami sa inyo commercial retail spaces yung binibuild, no? Which is quite common. So but there's a lot of opportunity. Just look at the vacancies here. but there's a lot of opportunity for
Exactly.
warehousing and
Exactly.
land.
And
Yep.
land. Yes. All right. I just want to quickly highlight also what's happening in the capital market scene. No, these are Metro Manila land values. King, we are tracking a trend, no, of
Mm-hmm.
land values from the onset of the pandemic up to the present. So you see here relatively flat until about 2020.
Okay, we're trying to get Miss Sheila signal
Yeah,
back.
there.
All right.
Yeah, I'm back. Okay.
All right.
So
Okay, go
again,
go.
yeah, I'm highlighting the uptick from 2021 to 2022.
Mm-hmm.
This signals recovery. So in keeping with our theme, though, know that they're back.
Yeah.
Recovery is real. So
Yeah.
you see an uptick of the trend in land values, no, particularly in these major CBDs, Fort
Mm-hmm.
Bonifacio and Makati. And then on the right hand side, this naman is land demand for the entire Philippines. The one on the left is for Metro Manila land values. I'd
Mm-hmm.
like to focus on the yellow bars. So that actually represents demand in the industrial sector. Industrial pa rin tayo. So in the
Mm-hmm.
last 3 years, especially from 2021 to current, transactions grew by 334% in industrial assets alone. No, so reflecting an uptick in demand talaga that is now shifting to higher value industrial use. When I say higher value industrial use, these are for techno parks, these are for data centers, these are for extensive logistics hubs, these are for e-commerce related use. No, so that's where the demand is, meaning that's where the growth opportunities we should look out for. So both investors, occupiers, leading to that development, no, in the market. So
Mm-hmm.
yun yung gusto nating i-highlight, no. So in terms of recovery also, no, we see here some demand drivers for growth in land values. Ito yung mga
Mm-hmm.
nasa lower left side, no. So higher value industries. You have their rezoning and recreation of mixed use developments. LGUs are rezoning from industrial to commercial and mixed use. Ibig sabihin, property prices are gonna go up,
Yeah.
'di ba?
Yeah.
Because it's now
True.
gonna be used for
True.
commercial, for mixed use,
Uh-huh.
no? And
Yeah.
then also we are increasing, we are seeing an increased interest, no, in tourism and hospitality. Again,
Mm-hmm.
bumabalik
Mm-hmm.
na sila.
Mm-hmm.
So again,
Mm-hmm.
land prices may move because of these new developments.
Hindi
And
nga lang bumabalik, ma'am, eh. Ano pa, revenge tourism ang
revenge,
nangyayari.
exactly,
Uh-huh.
exactly. That's true. And I'd also like to highlight there's heightened demand for more renewable energy sources. Ang
Yeah.
mga land requirements ngayon are for, say, mga
Yeah.
solar
Uh-huh.
farms. Pag sinabing
Uh-huh.
solar farms, that's over 50, 100 hectares in requirement. So
All right.
these factors, these demand drivers will move land values in the coming quarters. Yeah, that's it from my side. Thank you, King.
Grabe naman si Ma'am Sheila, talagang na concise presentation of the capital markets and industrial. No, thank you. We appreciate it. So, ang suma total dun sa present mo, Ma'am Sheila, is if our viewers have properties, 'di ba? It's either they hold on to it, kung wala naman silang kailangan, 'di ba? They're liquid, they don't need the cash right now, then hold on to it. The options are pwedeng ipaupa, 'di ba? To warehouse or construct their warehouses if it's 1,000 square meters, 2,000 to 5,000. If it's 1 hectare lots, then what do they do with it?
Well, we can find a partner for them, no? If
Mhm.
they don't have funds, we have investors that are willing to undertake joint venture arrangements, no? Para, to take advantage of opportunities in this market.
Yan ang gusto kong marinig kasi hindi ako familiar sa ganong mga aspeto. So there are possibilities, guys. Kung
Yep.
meron kayong mga ektarya, 'di ba, na wala naman kayong pang-develop, then we can get in touch with CBRE.
Oh, yes, they should get in touch with us, King, kasi bukod dun sa sinabi ni Sheila, our retail people are always on the lookout for prime locations. No,
Mm-mm.
so I'm pretty sure we can evaluate and we will be able to work out something if something is really of interest by some of our clients.
Yeah, yes, yes. Surely, surely. Um, but kung hindi nyo kagad sila maabot, I'm just here. Just put in the comment section of the episode your contact number and contact name, and get in touch with you and I'll introduce you to CBRE. Hi, that's about the time we have. Realty Realities as well as the new channel would like to thank again our guests. Sinabi ko na kanina, the reason why I want them in the show is that they are data rich. And these data are things that you would find not in the regular seminars or public seminars that you have. You would have to pay, you would have to be a member of the real estate boards to know all of these data, or you have to be a client of CBRE to know itong mga binanggit. But because we love you guys and we want you to make informed decisions in real estate, we got them here for free. At maraming salamat. Sir G. Espinosa and Ms. Sheila Sanchez.
Thank you.
Thank you, King.
Thank you. And hope to see you guys kahit in the near future. Pwede tayong mag-meeting, sabi ko nga, this coming week, Miss Sheila. So that's
Sige.
about the time we have, guys. Thank you for sticking it out in the first episode of our fourth season. Um, is it Realty good? I guess it is. You guys have seen it. You guys have seen the numbers. You guys have seen the growth in terms of office occupancies, in terms of industrial market occupancies. The same goes for warehousing. So the common question to us brokers is that, King, dapat ba naming ibenta itong property namin? Ako naman, parati kong sagot, even if we're brokers, right? We earn from commissions, and we love sales, right? But if you don't need to sell your real estate, right? If wala naman kayong paggagamitan yan urgently of the funds that you need, then don't. Diba? There are a lot of options for the offices that you've been holding onto that was vacant for 2 years. Narinig naman natin, 'di ba? The business is coming in, it's coming back. So hold on to it. For the condo units, right? Ito marami sa mga kaibigan ko, King, pabenta naman ng condominium. I bought it pre-pandemic for investment purposes to have it leased out. Well, expats are also coming back. Even though we didn't have any overview on residential markets, we got it from Aaron Pritchard of KMC, one of the real estate consultancies. Also, he said that, yes, King, the expats are coming back because, like what Mr. G said, MNCs are expanding. So just hold on to those properties. Um, we didn't deal much about residential markets, but it's also positive. If you guys feel that we need to cover it in this in Realty Realities, just let me know. Just put in the comment section that we want residential market overview, and we'll give it to you. All right. So lastly, congratulations to Miss Vanji Onasa. And congratulations also to our sponsors because what we present here in Realty Realities is something that your markets, your buyers really appreciate. So we appreciate you. That's Oh My Home, Vista Residences, Business Mirror, And in our supporters, Shift Cafe and Q Bags from Candy. So that's about the time we have. Thank you very much. Mabuhay pa kayo at God bless us all.